All right, everyone, now that you have your grid drawn, whether you used a ruler or you used a piece of paper that made your own measurement, you can start drawing. We are going to focus on each box at a time. And what I mean by that is we're going to focus on box A1 and draw everything that's in A1 into everything that's in A1 here. And something that might make it a little bit easier is to take some paper or a Post-it note and hide the other boxes. So you are just focused on that one box. Sometimes I'll fold my paper back too. So I am just going to draw what's in this space into this space. Now, this curve here, I need to draw. And this scalloped edge, I need to draw. And these lines in here. I like to draw over what I need to draw. That way, it's kind of practice, muscle memory here. Another thing that might help is if you take your paper or your ruler, I'm gonna move my sketchbook, and you make an X in your photo reference box. So corner to corner, you can use your ruler or your paper. But if you make an X here, remember you do the same thing here. You always put the same thing in each box. So this breaks down that box into more boxes. And I'll tell you why that's important in just a second. So now looking at this, I can see my curve is just under my angled line. And it crosses my other angled line right here. So we've got a little bit of a connect the dots going on here. So let's first draw this curve. I know it's just under my angled line, and it comes down, and it connects to about here, and then curves in, and then connects to about here. So again, we've got a little bit of a connect the dots going on here. You want to think about this negative space here is the same as this negative space. So looking a little bit closer, this negative space here between this curve and this angled line should be the same as the negative space between this curve and this angled line. Now that I have that line drawn, I'm going to draw the plate. First, I'm going to draw just a line to represent that plate, and then I'll draw on the scallops. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a half bumps before I get to this curve here. So the first curve that I'm going to draw is the one that goes over my angled line, and then there's one that touches the edge of my lemon, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these lines come in. There's a curve here, and they come in towards that curve. All right, now I have drawn everything in A1. And I'm going to move my Post-it notes so that I'm looking at B1. I'm right-handed, so I start at the top left and work my way down. If you're left-handed, you should start at the top right and work your way this way. That way you don't smudge your pencil. Now I have to create this almost egg-like curve and the slight plate here in the background. So it touches the top right about here, and then it curves down to about here. And there's a slight little line coming up there that's the scallop on the plate. All right, so now B1 is done, and I'm going to move on to C1. I think you get the picture here. You're going to draw everything that's in each box. This will be the last box I demonstrate. If you don't have Post-it notes, you can fold your paper back, or you can zoom in because you're on a computer. You can zoom in on that space on your computer. All right, so let's finish this lemon and start the next one. So we have one right here, and we have one right here. And they kind of overlap a little bit. So this first one comes up to, if that's center, just under center. So if this is center, comes up to about here. And then this comes almost right to the edge and still has a slight curve. Now I need to draw the slight curve of the plate. It starts just above where that lemon crosses and ends horizontally across, but it scoops up just a little bit. And then there are these beautiful kind of swooshy lines that are coming off of that plate. So that's A, B, and C. We've got A, B, and C transferred. I would move on to D and continuing that plate, and then E to continue the plate and add in this dark area in the background. So you are going to fill in everything that's in each box one at a time. And then you'll move on to row 2 and fill in everything that's in each box. Don't draw from A1 to 2A and then B and then C and then back into B to finish a shape. Focus one box at a time. Get everything in the box that you can. All right, that's how you're going to do this, whether you created your grid with a ruler or a piece of paper. You are trying to replicate what you see here in here. That's your job for today. Take a photo of it at the end of class and post it to our submission. So it's not a discussion board. I'm the only one seeing it. Post it to the submission on Schoology in the Friday folder.